Ever heard of a killer? I drop bombs like Hiroshima.
So I said, look at LeakYou video. What the fuck is LeakYou? Is it like a site? What's LeakYou? LeakYou. Is it a YouTube channel? Oh shit. Oh, I bet. Here we go.
Please hit the like. Thank you.
One, two, three, four.
Man, good morning, you all. Good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are across this vast planet Earth of ours. You all, I've been relatively quiet the last few days. I've, been doing my thing, and I have been seeing everything that you guys have been putting out with this whole Diddy situation. Was anyone really surprised when Cuba Gooding Jr.'s name dropped this morning? I wasn't. But I think one thing that people aren't talking about as much, which they really should, is the way Diddy moves. He moves so carefully that he literally takes flights with his drug mules, okay? Brendan Paul, is that his name? Brendan Paul. So you've got this this geeky white guy that's hanging out with Diddy. He's everywhere Diddy is, right? He's on private planes with Diddy. He's at Diddy's parties. I don't think dude has a moral compass piece of nothing in his bones, okay? Nothing. I'm talking about Brendan Paul. I think, listen, I'm gonna tell you, I think straight up, Pity's he's been suspect for years. I'll say it. I'll definitely say it. It's not even just the being suspect of, being suspected of homosexuality. And sorry, I kind of just went into this without even recognizing the chat. My bad. Third Eye, I see you, babe. I did get your messages. I have not forgot about you. Literally have not forgot about you, but shout out to you. Shout out to Christy as well. Shout out to all of you all that are listening in. I'm just kind of blabbing on right about now. But he doesn't even get on a flight without his drug mule by his side. He's not going to take that lick. We all learned that with Shine many, many years ago. Many, many years ago, we watched Shine go to prison and take that rap for Puff Daddy. This is long overdue in my opinion. And as I was saying before, yes, Puff Daddy, to those of you that are overseas, that are a little surprised and saying things like, this had to have been an open secret. And yes, it has been. That's what makes it so egregious, crazy, and insane, is that it has been pretty much an open secret here in America for many, many years. Many, many years. Very strange stories have come out of the Puff Daddy camp. involving women and men. I think that Puff Daddy goes both ways. And I think this show of force that Homeland Security did with raiding his homes, it is so obvious to me, and I've been on this planet going on 46 years, that they have something on him. There's no question in my mind. They went in there as if they already had something on him. And I think they do. We know there's people talking. We know people are suing. But the lawsuit that's even getting, I would say, just as much attention the last few days. It wasn't previously. But the last few days, there's a lawsuit that's really been filling in a lot of blanks for a lot of people. There's a man, a producer, a music producer, who sued Sean Combs for sexual assault back in February. Now, we know that when Cassie filed her lawsuit against Sean Diddy Combs, formerly Puff Daddy, formerly P. Diddy, he settled that case in less than 24 hours. But he said, but he claims that, here's the thing. That was a civil settlement. There's nothing about criminal charges when it comes down to that settlement. At the end of the day, Cassie got a payday. All right. And truth be told, if someone has did horrible things to you like that, ain't that the goal? Is to strike a payday, strike some pay dirt. It would be mine. Do you really have faith in our criminal justice system? I don't. I don't have any faith in it. Zero, none, nada. I don't. You're talking to the one person in this world who has zero understanding, zero faith in law enforcement, zero anything. Fuck them all. Okay? Fuck them. You think I like seeing Diddy's home raided? Fuck no. No, I don't like seeing that. But I'll tell you what it told me. This problem is bigger than what Diddy can control. It's out of his control. They hit him hard. They hit him fast. And it looked very, very planned to me. Extremely strategic. But let's be honest, man. Let's just be honest. Can we be honest here? If you thought R. Kelly was saying something, saying this man's name is going to be saying that in about a year or two from now. They're going to P. Diddy your ass. That's going to be the new saying, meme. They're going to P. Diddy your ass. Again, I felt like it was an unprecedented show of force. And I believe a lot of times when that comes in, it's not even just that Diddy has no control or understanding of what his actual situation is, but I think it also shows us law enforcement's stance as well. Pay very close attention to that, what their stance is. They hit him hard and fast. I have a feeling that we will be seeing Mr. P. Diddy here, Mr. Sean Combs. Likely, it's very likely he's going to be fighting for his life in the criminal courtroom, not just his money. Let's talk a little bit more about the lawsuit. So there was a man, music producer, Rodney Jones, also known as Lil Rod, who sued Sean Combs back in February. Sean Combs has called Rodney Jones' lawsuit frivolous and a money grab. But here's the problem. A lot of the things that Rodney and his lawyer and his attorneys put in their lawsuit against Sean Combs seem to be just filling in a lot of blanks. Let me say that. Brendan Paul, the man that was arrested, the only man who's been arrested in all of this, arrested and in Miami, Opa-locka Airport. He was with Diddy on that private plane, on his private plane with him. He was arrested and charged with 2 felony charges. And I'm sure that the drugs magically appeared in that bag specifically, okay? And I'm pretty sure Brendan Paul knew he would be taking those charges. He is already bonded out. Former basketball player, wasn't all that stellar from my understanding. Could this be potential karma payback for Shine? I don't know. But people have been known to take charges for Diddy. He has been accused even of bribing people, drivers even, people that he does not consider very important in his life. You better be damned right that Brendan Paul's taking those charges. That's just the price that he's going to pay for being around someone like Diddy. But listen, TMZ has been publishing photos of Brendan and P. Diddy together, coming off their private plane. It's a little too close. I'm going to say this. It's not even a little. It's far too close for someone of his stature to be so comfortable with someone of Brendan Paul's stature. What are you talking about, Leak? Don't act like you don't know what I'm talking about. If you're someone who's built a reputation, a public reputation in your life, and then your business and money is founded on said public reputation, rooted at the end of the day, right? That's the root at the end of the day. I mean, think about it. Rodney claimed in his lawsuit that Brendan Paul was a drug and gun mule for Diddy. And again, the only one that's been arrested in all of this. Yes, his sons were cuffed up. They were. Apparently, one was taking a shower and the other one was getting dressed when police kicked the doors in. And not only kicked the doors in, approached Diddy's property on boat basically via land, air, and water. They took an entire tactical approach to swoon in. They knew the moment that their feet touched down that this would be in every paper all over the world. They knew that going into this. So to them, they got to be strategic about it, right? We're going to hit them on both coasts. We're going to hit them at the same time. Let's make sure you factor in the time zones, all that sort of a thing. But again, Brendan Paul walks off this yacht. He ends up in handcuffs on his way to the jail in Miami there. Miami County Jail, Dade County. And ends up charged with 2 felonies. P. Diddy made his way. And what was crazy is in the first 2 days of this, there was this whole where is Waldo thing going on. Where's Diddy? Where's Diddy? People, even news outlets tracking his private jet. The life of the rich, baby. Oh, I was hearing all about how Diddy and Young Miami were pulling up, into California, into various different airports, picking people up. She's been named as a drug mule herself. And I think everybody wants to know, does he turn you out like that, the way that he did Cassie? You all. The fact that anybody would give another human being that much control over them is scary as AF. It is. I'm going to say this, though, too. I feel like pedophiles are worse than murderers. People that, violate children, sexually assault children, does not even just be a sexual assault, physically abusing a child, mentally abusing a child. And that shit has everlasting consequences, okay? And and really, that's saying a lot. I would put you quite a few feet up under a murderer, if you want me to be honest. Someone that violates children. And those are accusations that do stand against him. But it's not just children, it's women and it's men. He's been accused of treating Rodney Jones like a sex object, basically. It's the best word I could come up with. And he also spoke in the lawsuit about how he felt he was prepping him to pass him off to his friends. Rodney Jones says that Sean Combs has touched his anus multiple times. So if there's any question about whether the man likes booty hole, I think that answers that, along with all the other rumors that we've heard over the years, right? But to treat someone so viciously and make them a sex object for you and your fucking friends. See, that's where the maliciousness comes in for me. An air of selfishness sort of a thing. Maliciousness. Dude has got a problem. And it's a problem he cannot control. We know he has some of the biggest parties. Okay, can I say this? Nobody's talking about the fact, dude, he has a whole oversized bed outside his home. Who needs a bed outside? Who needs a bed outside? Orgies. People that have orgies. Got it. Okay. Nothing is sacred anymore. Okay. Nothing. And I hear some of the video and audio recordings that P. Diddy may have on very successful and wealthy people. Ooh. People are jumping ship, man. They're treating Sean Combs, they're treating Diddy like he's kryptonite. And here's why. People's names start getting dropped. And Cuba Gooding Jr. has now been added to Rodney Jones's lawsuit. Are you so surprised to hear me say that name? Oh, no, you're not really, are you? Okay. I used to think he was so cute. Boys in the Hood. Oh my God. I had such a secret crush on him. But anyway, he likes guys too. Allegedly, Rodney Jones has alleged Cuba Gooding Jr. sexually harassed him and assaulted him, even groping him while he was aboard Sean Combs's yacht. See, the fact that people can go onto his yacht and start just groping people tells me everything I need to know. Some weird stuff going on. You all have talked about Illuminati and sex parties and orgies and all this stuff for all these years. Where y'all at? Where you at? It was me. That was me. Sorry. This same lawsuit also makes a claim that Diddy admitted to being responsible for the infamous 1999 New York City nightclub shooting, which ended with him and his girlfriend at the time, Miss Jennifer Lopez, and rapper Jamal Shine Barrow arrested. Shine ended up doing a 10-year bid. Combs was arrested on weapon charges and took it to trial. Let's keep this in mind. There was a woman shot that night named Natanya in her face, okay? She said she clearly watched them both pull out guns. She had a clear point of view and that she was shot in her nose. She was facing them. She looked directly at them. And she even stated that because his name, Diddy, because Diddy's name was more notable, he was believed rather than a victim. He was believed to, who gave a firsthand account, all right, than the actual perpetrator. He shot that woman in the face, okay? She filed a lawsuit for $130 million against Sean Combs back in 2008. Sean Combs settled it. In June of 2023, Cuba Gooding Jr. settled a civil sexual abuse case just before his trial, his criminal trial. He was accused of raping a woman in a New York City hotel 10 years prior. Not to mention, and I'm thinking of the video here where he's just walked up to women and just grabbed their breasts, groped them. Very just people, man, men, not all men, just some men, a percentage of men have serious control problems. Like they can't control themselves when they see some titties and ass. I need all my girls to be 25 years of age and under. I know I'm 75, but that doesn't matter. So, Diddy is still a free man, just like Trump. Diddy is still able to travel all over the world, unlike Trump, who does not have his passport. Fuck him too. But all of this, something that was filed back in February that dropped Cuba Gooding's name, but it's just now gotten media attention because of these raids on Diddy's homes. And by the way, I heard the federales, when they kicked in his door, they took the security tape with them, baby. They're like, no, we're not going to let you have nothing on camera of us. I said, no, not today. But check this out. So Brendan Paul, the drug mule, the alleged drug mule, 25-year-old Brendan Paul, still young. Diddy knows how to pick him, don't he? He knows how to pick him, don't he? But this is just enough trouble for him. Truth be told, Diddy's going to immediately put distance between himself and Brendan Paul. Immediately. And Brendan is going to learn a very hard lesson. Nobody's to be trusted. You never take a charge for anybody. I suspect that cocaine and marijuana on the plane was all packaged in the same package, baby. We want to, we got to make sure that multiple felony charges don't hit us, right? We ain't trying to distribute anything. So they're in this private jet, right? Miami's Opelika Airport. Brendan Paul, age 25, proceeds to board Sean Combs' jet. Was about to. And bam, get them cuffs put on him. Listen, if there's anything that you need to know about Brendan Paul, know this. Brendan Paul was on that plane with Diddy and his two twin children, his twin daughters. So if there's any question as to the closeness that Brendan Paul has with the Diddy family, there's your answer. Obviously, Diddy trusts him around his daughters. The day of the raids, that private plane lands in the Bahamas, all right? But they were like, no, he's not on this plane. He's not on this plane, and he's innocent. And this is military level force. Yeah, we live in a military level country. Been saying it for years. My question is, where you been, Diddy? Where you been? Been saying that. We've been out here calling, all of the police brutality and, everything about it. Any and every damn thing about it. I don't recall Diddy being a large or loud voice for that. I'm sorry. Nope, I'm not sorry. He's just not someone that comes to mind as someone who's been a big proponent with that movement. Sure, they all say stuff, but what have you actually done? Oh, it's only when it happens to you, right? That you come out and you want everyone else to have understanding. Well, there's several people that were shot by police a week ago, never came home. Because we've allowed this country to go this way. Because you dumbasses still think Trump has a shot. He does. But listen, never will I have learned a political lesson like I did back in 2014. I was not expecting Hillary Clinton to lose that election. I'll just say that. I cried. When Donald Trump got elected, I actually shed tears. I don't know why I did, but I did. And look what he did. He treated that presidency like a reality TV show. Had no respect for the office whatsoever. But fuck him. But I'm just saying, when the fuck, when did Trump ever give a damn about police brutality or any of that type of stuff? Never. Never. Matter of fact, he was playing really scary, crazy games with our political system, trying to, come up and make this big, team. They wanted to be a team. But then they raided his home. He doesn't feel that way about police anymore. Only takes once. You get one bad experience with a police officer, promise you it will change your whole life. So yeah, I say all that to say that, Diddy, if you're thinking that saying something like, oh, they came in here with military style force, it's unprecedented and all that sort of a thing, we hear you. We see it. Ask me if I care. You've been running around here violating men and women. Like, what kind of dude? What kind of dude has a woman as beautiful as Cassie? Talented, gorgeous, all right, there with him. How do you sell her body to strange men and women, for that matter? Like, he took hiring sex workers to a whole new level. I don't know why, but I in my mind, I would come to the thought that most men that are getting paid for sex were gay men. But that's not true. That's not true. But I don't pay for sex, right? So I don't fucking know what the rules are. But how could you do that to somebody and then get mad at them when they don't want to do the so-called freak offs? Listen, if your soul can be sold for a Birkin bag to open up your legs, you never had a soul or a moral compass to start with. We all come in this world broke as fuck with not a single penny to our name. We all leave this world the same way, broke as fuck, with debts owed. Matter of fact, you will always have a debt if you're human. All right, just taxes alone. All right, just that alone, property taxes, whatever. Right. But yeah, to me, and kind of going back to something I said earlier in the stream, is when you get to a certain level, a certain reputation level, especially when everything you got is built on said reputation, you have to know who can be around you and who can't. Who you can get caught on photos with and who you don't want to be caught on photos with. That type of shit, right? I wouldn't be walking anywhere with Brendan Paul if he was my drug mule. All right. If he was a drug mule for me, I wouldn't want to be caught walking next to the man, let alone on the same plane. But hey, I guess that was his purpose, huh? His job is done. Before we get out of here, right? I want to bring up Little Rod's a little bit more details behind this lawsuit, right? See, Diddy, it's not just the sexual harassment. Diddy's also being accused of harassing Rodney's children, even his ex-partners. He treats him like a boyfriend. He was treating him like a boyfriend. And Rodney Jones has also accused Diddy, okay, of harassing again his 8-year-old daughter and even ex-partners, and of retaliation in his lawsuit. All right. Engaging in harassing behavior directed towards his daughter, the child's mother, and his ex-spouses. Documents that were filed even in late March through his attorney. He claimed that Bad Boy Entertainment founder had been allegedly sending agents to harass his daughter and loved ones. And additionally, Jones claims that Diddy has also been manufacturing stories about him on TMZ. The alleged harassment by Diddy has created, he says, an environment of fear and potential harm for him, his family, and his loved ones, leading them to take action by filing a police report. But again, that in his 73-page lawsuit, he accused him of sexual assault, harassment, and unpaid work. That's the thing with Diddy, right? He's known also as a bit of a shrewd businessman. He doesn't always pay his debts. He lived at Diddy's homes in LA, New York, and Florida, while also simultaneously producing on his album, the Love album, Off the Grid, as recently as November of last year. And while working on this project, he alleged that he even witnessed Diddy, his staff, and his guests engage in serious illegal activity. He furthermore claimed that he was groped and touched by Diddy on multiple occasions, and alleged that Diddy made him go pick up sex workers to bring them back to his home. Let me ask you all this as I prepare to close out. Do you believe that it's possible that, like a spirit, right? You could look at it, we're not going to call it a sin, we're going to call it a spirit, right? A sex spirit. A spirit that once latched on to a man is latched on for fucking life. Or an exorcism, I guess, right? When I see people that are really sick, like Diddy, like R. Kelly, who for years mercilessly violated people sexually, including men and women, to me, I just get like demon vibes with that. And it's almost like a demon that attaches and keeps them subdued in that horrible, despicable behavior. Notice, Leak, you ain't making no excuses, all right? At the end of the day, you and you alone are responsible for your actions, period. And nobody has the right to, run around violating your booty hole every single day. It's just ridiculous. By the way, Cuba Gooding Jr., if you're wondering what kind of groping, sexual areas, meaning his wang wang, his inner thighs, his legs. No man should be rubbing on another man's legs, okay? Can we just start there? He said he had to push Cuba Gooding away. He had to push him away. Cuba Gooding Jr., I don't want to have sex with you. I don't ever ask what people's body counts are. Because frankly, and even if I'm in like a relationship with someone, or if I was to spark one up, I don't give a fuck. I don't want to know that shit. I really don't. I don't want to hear about any of your sex capades that you had, or none of that type of shit, right? I don't care about that. What your body count is. But I do wonder that about Diddy. What is Diddy's body count? And here's another weird thing too. Like you allegedly hired the sex workers to have sex with Cassie on film. Where's all the tape? Diddy? Where's all the film that we know the feds are looking for? Is there any storage units? Does he have a storage unit anywhere? Anybody? They never found all the tapes with R. Kelly. Is it possible that a P. Diddy tape could potentially leak? I hear there's a lot of video evidence. Anyway, you all, hey, what's up with it, Shannon? Why is Shannon not modded over here? Hold on a second, please. Hey, Emmanuel, good to see you. What's up, Roast Toast? Let me get Shannon hooked up really quick. It's my girl right there. Good to see you. And good to see all of you. I'm just coming through blabbing, you all. Just a blabbing, talking about this P. Diddy situation. It's all right. So tonight, I am be prepared. There's a woman that I'm going to be talking to tonight, and I believe we're still a go. It's a very, very messy, complicated situation. And we want to bring light to it because, based off what happened to the 8 of us, right? That YouTuber and others, and other people, and just how dangerous it can be anytime a child is involved. We're going to be discussing a very complicated situation to bring light and attention to her plight. And also, you all, I don't know if you're aware of this, but there's a solar eclipse coming. All right. I know this because I happen to live in an area where the solar eclipse is going to be at its fullest, right? And I'm seeing a lot of new faces. I know there's a lot of new folks showing up that ain't from around here, right? Things get really crazy when solar eclipses are involved, right? Would you think it's weird that CERN is firing up their Hadron Collider on April 8th, the same day as the solar eclipse? Does that strike anyone as weird or strange? We're talking 6.8 TeVs of energy, all right? This accelerator, which is called the Hadron Collider, will be lit up, so to speak, for the first time since its annual winter shutdown. We've talked about CERN several times on my show. And recently, one of the latest videos I know I did on it and research that I did was the fact that we've got physicists coming out saying, hey, I've been doing experiments in CERN, and we've been coming into contact with interdimensional entities. You could call them demons. You could call them whatever you want to call them. We'll just refer to them as interdimensional entities. They've been coming into contact with these entities over at CERN, and pretty much has stated that. We've seen more than a few scientists come out and talk about these very strange experiences at CERN. So no, I think that collider is very dangerous, if you ask me. We've heard all sorts of stuff, portals opening up above that collider, all sorts of stuff. But keep your eyes out for that. They are doing experiments over there in that piece of machinery that some believe could potentially end our Earth. These large, and I remember when I first heard about CERN many years ago. God, like, ugh, had to have been 15 plus years ago, at least at this point. And I remember the big premise that they were pushing was the God particle, the God particle, the God particle. You're gonna get in this accelerator and we're gonna bang two pieces of dirt together and we're gonna create Earth. We're gonna create an Earth. Trying to essentially solidify the Big Bang Theory, right? Because they don't want to give credit to God. I don't want to give credit to God for doing what he did. But hey, the fact that they're opening this collider back up on the very day of a solar eclipse is very odd to me. They say that the first collision of proton beams are expected on April 8th when all tests and fine-tuning of the machine are over. Then the large CERN experiments involving colliding protons can resume their measurement program. More to come on that for sure. More to come on that. Guys, I appreciate each and every one of you for coming through. Shout out to those of y'all on Twitter. I see y'all. Shout out to everybody on Twitch, on Facebook, as well as YouTube. Before we get up out of here, guys, allow me to pay a few bills if you don't mind. If I can find it. There we go. Shout out to the LeakYou community. Please join us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Amazon Music.
Please hit the like. Thank you.
So yeah, guys, like in closing with this whole Diddy situation, I don't feel bad for him. I got to be honest with you. I don't. I think dude has had more than enough time. It's like the same with R. Kelly. Like you're a public figure. You've had all these rumors and things like that come out about you, but you did nothing to rectify it. Look where you are today, sir. I think Diddy's he's got a lot of uphill battles ahead of him. But again, I just shake my head when I think about people, billionaires, right? We look at Epstein, Diddy, Trump, right? When you get to a certain place, when you are rising to the top, there's only one way people are going to go, your way or against you, right? It's one or the other. When you come into contact with somebody new, either they're going to bring you up or they're going to take you down. You got to look at every interaction like that. Every interaction. Down to if I'm in public and somebody takes a photo, how's this going to look type shit. That's the stuff that, should be going through someone's mind. And you would think that they wouldn't even be they wouldn't even be in certain situations. But listen, it is what it is, folks. It is what it is. Man, Cassie got her millions and bounced. But you know, her statement that she did yesterday was very telling to me. And there's no proof of this, right? But I do think Cassie's most likely working with the feds. Just the way that her statement read, right? She's still calling him basically a predator. And that, you know, it was the way her statement read. So keep your eyes out for that too. All right, y'all, I'm out of here. Much love, guys. Until next time.
The judgment sentence